What's up?
Big dog.
You ain't see that big joker walking in here?
Yes, sir.
Big
What's up?
sexy. There we go.
Hey, what's up, big dog? How you doing? Pleasure, man. Hey, dog, that's what happened. These big dudes built, they different than like the big dudes back in our day.
They used to be nasty and
Yeah, big dudes back in our, yeah, they like you, but bigger.
yeah, they used to stink and all that. Y'all smooth nowadays.
Try my best. I try my best.
Hold up, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the here to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Trust, limitless. Take a stomach, got pin in it. I fought the here to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.
Welcome to the show, Tristan Wirfs, first round draft pick, Super Bowl champion, All-Pro, first to do it at left and right tackle. Conversation we'll have later. It's just Fred Taylor, it's just Channing Crowder. I'm Ryan Clark. Welcome to the Pivot fam. Thank you for pivoting with us. You know, Tristan, I usually wait till late in the show to do this, where I split the room based on Super Bowl champions and non-Super Bowl champions. Or maybe even people who's had Super Bowl appearances and non-Super Bowl appearances, because you try to be more inclusive into that. But this is conversations only you and I can have. Sorry, y'all get in the conversation later.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Nah,
See what he want to do to us, brother?
You're starting out hot.
You know, that's a show joke. But really, man, think to come into the NFL, 13th overall draft pick, two things happen right away for you. You're tasked with protecting Tom Brady, and then you go on this Super Bowl run. What was that first year of playing with the greatest quarterback of all time and actually finishing the deal in the way y'all did?
Yeah, I mean, kind of just starstruck, to be honest. I mean, I remember getting a call from BA like on draft night. Forgot to turn my ringer on. It was vibrating. My girl was like, "Hey, your phone's ringing." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Pick it up. And his BA, he's like, "Hey, baby." He's like, "You ready to pick Tom Brady?" And I was like, not right now, but I'll get ready, you know? And it was just like, I remember like training camp, like I had Shaq and JPP and Shaq Barrett and just torching me. And I was like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. I was like, I got Tom Brady back there. I was like, I can't be the one. You know, it's not gonna be my ass that gets him hurt or whatever. And I remember he pulled me to the side and he's like, don't get beat fast and don't get beat inside. We'll be okay. And I was like, sounds good. I was like, I can do that. In my head, it was just like fighting your balls off. Like, you're gonna get beat, like shit happens, you're gonna get beat, but just strain, just like do whatever it takes, you know, to not let him touch him. He's not moving, he's not going anywhere. He's sitting right there and slinging it. Then I remember we went on this little run, like we lost a couple in a row my rookie year, and every week it was like BA would come in, team meeting, he's like, we can still do what we wanna do, we can still do what we wanna do. And I'm like, coming from college, you're like, you lose two, like I was in the Big Ten, it's like, you know, Big Ten championship was our goal. It's like we lose two and they're like, yeah, it's done. Right. You know, you guys stink, stuff like that. And we lost like 2 or 3 and I'm like, what are they talking about? I was like, season's over. And that's just in my head, saying that. And then we went on, I think including the Super Bowl, it was like 11 wins in a row, something like that. And I was like, I guess he was right. Like, I guess we can still do it. It was honestly insane. And you know, being a rookie, I didn't really understand like the magnitude of it, like how big that was and how big of a job it was to protect Tom too. Yeah, no, it was like three road playoff games. Like, it was crazy. You know, Tom, we played against 3 former MVPs, I think. Yeah. It was insane. Like, looking back on it now, it's like, holy shit. Like, that was crazy.
I love it, yeah.
I think what's even crazier, 5 years in, 79 games, 4 Pro Bowls.
Yep.
0 sacks, according to StatMuse.
Total or this year?
Over your career.
No, that's not right.
That's absolutely wrong.
Yeah, that's way.
I mean,
He cold though.
I don't know.
If I had 0
But
sacks,
I'm a Bucs fan, yeah. He done gave up. I was watching.
yeah, I've got a couple.
I mean, because it's crazy. I know you're a bad man. You know, I know you're a bad man. I follow that 2020 draft class, man. Such a lot of great, amazing players to come out.
Yeah.
And you certainly stand out, you know, amongst all of the great ones, off to a great, I think, Hall of Fame career.
Thank you.
In your early career. But what was it like for you to, you know, aside from having the duties to protect Tom, with the greatest quarterback, in our opinion, to ever play the game, just as a person and as a teammate? Because a lot of people don't get an opportunity to see that side of Tom. But how was that for you coming in?
I mean, I thought it was great. Like, my one goal coming in was like don't let him yell at you. Like, don't make him mad. Don't do anything that's like, you know, and he never did. I'll say this. He never yelled at me directly. He yelled at us as no line. And I was like, that doesn't count. But no, like Tom was awesome. I love him to death. And I remember the first time I met him, I was just in the hallway. And like, I remember when you meet somebody like that, I thought he was like 7 feet tall. Like, I'm a 21-year-old kid. I'm like, this is fucking Tom Brady, you know? Called my mom right after I was in the locker room. I said, Mom, I just met Tom Brady. But he's an amazing dude, you know, and I learned a lot from him. I think how to be a pro, you know, how to come to work. And I think the biggest thing for me was at the time, like, I was so used to college, like, stay out of the training room, like, don't tell him anything. In my mind, I was like, if you get hurt, like, it'll go away, you know, just give it time. And Tom was like, no, like, these are long seasons. You gotta stay on top of your body, like, getting body work done. And I'm still learning that. I'm still learning how to be better at that, because that was my mindset for so long, was like, it'll go away. There was a time where our huddle we had Tom, Gronk, AB, Leonard Fournette. Like, I was like, this is Julio Jones. I was like, this is a Madden team. I was like, this is crazy. And like, I'm playing with these guys. Like, I played with these guys on Madden. It's like, now I'm in the huddle with them. I remember sometimes I'd be just like looking around. I'm like, this is crazy.
I love that.
But no, there's a side of Tom that nobody gets. Like, everyone sees the competitor he is, the player on Sundays. But I mean, nobody sees that he tells like dad jokes, like a mother. And I was like, dude, that's not funny. I was like, and he'd laugh at it. But he always got a kick out of it. Like, I'd be like, Tom, I was like, he asked me, like, how old are you, Tris? I'd be like, 21. He's like, Jesus. Because he was 22 years older than me. I was like, I was like, you were born like a year or two after my mom, Tom. He's like, shut up, dude. I was like, don't tell me that. But no, Tom's an all-time guy. Like, I love him to death.
How was that like? Because like the first round pick, so you went 13.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be like a franchise changer.
Yeah.
So being the big dude, I ain't gonna lie, when I talk about linemen, I say the fat guy.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
That's fine.
So being a fat guy, but like Freddie said, 4 Pro Bowls in 5 years, like you can play ball,
Thank you.
but not having the impact with touchdowns, interceptions, and all that stuff, but people like, seeing your name pop up in the first round, like the pressure of having that on you, but also knowing like I can't really move the needle with excitement. Yeah. But I gotta do my shit.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is just doing your job. You know, I had a coach my rookie year, Joe Gilbert, love him to death. He told me, he's like, you gotta be consistent. I remember there was one day in training camp I came out and, you know, your rookie training camp, kind of like midway through, I was getting kind of beat. Just that mental side kind of wearing you. And I went out, had a bad night on 7, and I was like, and he's like, pulled me aside, he's like, it's all good. He's like, we just gotta be consistent. He said, you can't come out here and shit the bed one day and be good the next. He said, you gotta be consistent. So I kind of took that and ran with it as much as I could. You know, I was like, if they don't gotta worry about me, then I'm doing my job. Like, I can't control other stuff, but I can control my job. You know, with good, bad, and different, however the play goes, you gotta move on, be consistent, just keep working, keep going to work. So that was the biggest thing. Like, yeah, it's hard to be flashy as an O-lineman. It's hard to be flashy, you know, any position you're not getting the ball. So it's like, what can I do to lock this spot down, to not let anyone have to worry about me, you know, just do my job to the best of my ability and keep moving forward. So that's what I tried to do.
Then they switched you to the other side.
Yeah, then I had a little panic attack. Then I was like, son of a gun. I said,
You talked about that, though. I wanted to get to that. You know, you did switch to the other side. And talented offensive linemen that start at the right sometimes do move. But you mentioned the mental health part of that, right? Yeah. The toll it sort of took on you with the worry. Can you kind of dive a little deeper into the difficulty of making the move and how that played with your mind?
Yeah, well, I think like you're your biggest critic. Like I'm harder on myself than anybody. So it's like I was having these like nightmares. I was like, I'm not gonna be good enough. Like I remember having nightmares like giving up sacks, like clean, like strip sacks, end the game. There's nightmares where I couldn't take a pass set, and it's like just stupid stuff. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like it was like March at the time of the off, you know, going into where they asked me right after the season, like, hey, we're gonna move you, and it had been a couple weeks, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, no way. I'm like, just calm down. And I spent that whole offseason, you know, working with my teammate Luke, you know, just sets and sets and sets. I was like, the more reps I get, the better I'm gonna feel. But it was weighing on me for a while, just that kind of anxiety of not being good enough or not, you know, living up to my own expectations, and then, you know, the expectations that were, you know, put upon me to go play left tackle. And I knew I was gonna take my lumps that year. I was like, you know, it's a new thing. I was like, I just gotta go out there and keep being consistent, like doing my best to do my job. And it was tough. We had our swing tackle, Justin School. It was like the first the first day of camp that year. It was like our first third down period of the day. And my first set was just ugly as all get out. I crossed over, I punched with my inside hand, and I remember him in the back, he's just like, calm down. He's like, you're okay. And I was like, all right, I got that one out of the way. We'll be all right. But I remember that was kind of like a big moment for me. It was just him telling me, like, everything's gonna be all right. You know, you're gonna be fine. And then I was like, you know, with Baker, I was like, same with Tom, I said, don't let anybody touch him, just strain. I said, we'll deal with it.
You were back to square one, just strain?
Yeah, I was like, we'll deal with the other shit later. It doesn't have to look pretty, just don't let anybody touch him. I was like, just be an athlete. I met with our sports psychologist, Joe Corella. He helped me a lot, just kind of just replace the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. Like, this is how, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna suck, like, this is what I'm gonna do to be better. This is what I'm gonna do to fix this. This is what I'm gonna do on this rep. Just little stuff.
I think it is telling, one, how important it is for you to do well at your job, but someone who has been highly successful at a position where it seems like you're playing tackle and you're playing tackles, not necessarily moving to guard or center, or hell, go and play wide receiver, but just that small change for someone who has always seen this certain level of excellence and holding themselves to that expectation, like, there is a fear there. And I think it's awesome that you came out and said that. Like, would it be players like Lane Johnson and other people who made you comfortable with sharing that sort of story, or at least even exploring a way to fix it?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched, oh my gosh, Lane, Trent, Laramie Tunsil. Guy that I watched a lot was Brian O'Neill for the Vikings, Jake Matthews. Like, there's all these tackles that I've seen, and then you know, Lane was big on mental health as well. So like, seeing him as a young player, seeing him advocate for that was really nice, and being able to feel comfortable to be like, yeah, I was struggling, I was going through some shit, and it's like, people say it's like, oh, just moving from tackle to tackle. It's like, I've got thousands and thousands of reps on on the right side doing one thing, over and over again. So it's like, I don't have to think about, like, I could go back to the right side and like, I'd probably get worked. I haven't done it in a while, but I was like, I would feel fine. It would feel natural, because like, that's just how my natural side. So being able to come out and be like, yeah, I was struggling. I think Lane kind of paved the way for that. I think mental health. Because I tell people all the time, it's like wiping your ass with your other hand. Or another one people can relate to is using a mouse with your left hand. Like, if you're sitting at a desk all day, use your mouse in your left hand. Like, it's crazy.
Now, the first one, make a lot of sense, dog, because I'm just going to shower if I got to try to use the left.
Yeah. You hop in the shower.
You mentioned a lot of great, amazing players to play that position. But like, we are skill position guys, right? We study film a certain type of way. Like, we can look at guys at our position and kind of look at their back pedal or their drops, making sure they're in the proper zone. Like, what does a big guy look at? Like, you are different than a lot of big guys. You're very athletic. Like RC said, you were able to make that move and definitely make the most of it. What do you study when you're watching another lineman?
How they're going to block somebody. Like, if I'm blocking, the same edge rusher as, say, Jordan Mailata as Trent, like, I'm seeing what set they're taking. Like, third down, what kind of set are they taking? Are they setting vertical? Like, I like to jump set guys. I like to close space. Like, I was like, get my hands on them, and then you can react. But like, you're susceptible to a couple things, off a jump set. Like, you're leaving a big window on the inside. You're susceptible to twist games. Like, if they, defensive end sees that, then they're talking with their D tackle, like, I'm gonna set out. Okay, they're running a big pick game. That's easy. But it's like, just knowing when stuff's coming, seeing their tells. If they're communicating, you're like, okay, maybe I don't want to go jump set. But for tackles, I'm watching guys' sets, how they sit on a bull rush, like their hands. Like, I'm a big outside hand puncher. I think a lot of tackles in this league are, but it's outside hand. That one gets swiped, and you're okay. As long as you keep your feet moving. Like, they can swipe this one all day. You bring your inside hand, and it's fine as long as you keep your feet moving. When you stop your feet, that's usually when most tackles get in trouble. Stop your feet, you're dead. But just trying to watch guys' sets, like, that's the biggest thing for me. How they react to certain moves, and then the D linemen's get off. Like, watching their get off, because everything comes off of 2-3 steps. They're doing inside foot back. It's going to be inside foot back. They can come inside. Most guys aren't gonna, with their inside foot up, they can't push towards their up foot. So if their inside foot's back, they're gonna push off their outside. They can come inside easily. So it's just like, seeing little stuff like that.
Got it.
That might help you.
Like, I don't know nothing about none of that.
That might help you. It's the same for, like, watching somebody's back pedal, watching, whatever it is, just watching their feet, just in a different light,
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and all this teach tape you just gave got you 140
I knew he was gonna count his pocket at some point.
I count pockets, man. I'm just amazed, bro. How did that change things for you personally?
I mean, nothing.
It did something.
Yeah, it obviously changed a lot, but like, you try not to let it change you. Like, I got a new car. You know, I got a new Mercedes. That's fun. I got a couple new watches.
He went 13th. He went 13th too. So he had money that changed his life to an extent, though.
But that's 30 million. Now it's 140. Like so 2 watches. So 60. New Mercedes 100. That's 160,000. You still got 139 million to spend.
No, I didn't got it. That's future. That's future. So you gotta be smart. You gotta be smart with it.
But that responsibility, knowing that they put that much into you, knowing that they, that you want to period. Joe Thomas was the guy I played with. Ogden. I always bring in Ogden. Ogden.
He threw a shot put at UCLA.
Bro, he used to choke these shit out of me. Yeah, I couldn't. I didn't even want to rush when they told me to rush off that left side. Nah, coach, I'm good.
He was crazy.
Let's not rush anymore. Stuff like that. But knowing that you're on that level, multiple-time Pro Bowler, if your career continues to go where it's going, you could be an Ogden, you could be a Joe Thomas that. And just knowing that they put that much into you. Like, I know you were talking about the mental health stuff, but just that, like, knowing that you're that guy.
Yeah, that's a big thing too. Is like feeling like you got to live up to that. You're like they put this much into me. They have this much confidence in me, trust in me. Now I got to go do it. And kind of circle back to Dr. Joe Corella. He's like, nobody's worth that much money. Nobody's worth. All these athletes around the NFL, NBA, like nobody's worth that much money. But you are, because like that's what the market is. That's what everything is. That's how we get paid. So it's like getting over that fear of like not living up to that, and it's like just go play. He's like, you got that because of what you've done already. He's like, no, keep going, go have fun, go do what you do. For a while there, I was like, I sat out of like the first week of training camp or something, because like at the time our left guard had torn his ACL like the second or third day of camp. We had rain indoor practice, tore his ACL, and I was like, damn. And I saw Ryan Jensen go down, my rookie year. So I was like, I was out there doing stuff, and then I kind of sat back. I was like, I got a lot on the line right now. I was like, I got a lot of money on the line right now. It was so hard. I remember calling Coach Bowles. I was like, Coach, what do I do? I was like, I got, I haven't signed anything yet. Like, but I want to be out here with my guys. Like, I don't want to feel like an asshole, like sitting out while they're, the Tampa Heat it's no joke. Like they're grinding. I got guys, taking extra reps because I'm sitting out. So I'm like, I don't want to be an asshole. I remember going and talking to Jason Light on like it was like our off day. I hadn't talked to him like this whole time, like in person. Went and talked to him. I got a text that night. I said, thanks for coming to talk to me. And then my agent called me like 5 minutes later. He's like, yeah, we're good. He said, go practice. I said, hell yeah. Let's fucking go. I ran out to practice so giddy that morning. I was like, let's fucking go, boys. We're back. We're back.
Like, that's the dream, right? You put in the level of work you did. Shoot, wrestling letterman, right? Track as well. I heard you could play a little bit of first base before you realized,
I was picking shit out of the dirt. What are you talking about?
What you were going to do. And, a lot of those things, man, you can pass down genetically. You found out that you became an All-Pro on both sides of the offensive line, which had never been done in a very unique way.
Yeah.
Right? Your girl bought your baby and my daddy is an All-Pro. Yeah. How has being a father, man, just changed you, affected you, grown you up and matured you in so many ways?
I mean, it's kind of crazy, finding out that way was unbelievable. Like
what was that like, man?
So she knew for like 2 days, and I was like, I was like telling her, no one's ever done it at both sides. Like, it comes out on Friday. And she knew for like 2 days. Like, so she's like, I'm telling her, and she's like, oh yeah, like that's funny. And I was like, I had this interview, they had me do this interview, and I thought they told me they just wanted to talk about the run game, and so I was like, yeah, and I'm wearing Crocs and everything. They're like, do you want to change? I was like, no. I was like, I gotta go lift. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, no. And I'm sitting there, and then they walk in. I was like, what are you doing here? No, that was crazy, because I told her like the night before. I was like, it comes out Friday. Having a son is like, it's unbelievable. I remember like coming home in training camp and like seeing it. You're like, seeing your child it blows my mind, And now he's gonna be 10 months here in like 2 days, and he's moving around. He's like, he's not quite walking yet, but he's getting close. But it's like everything that you didn't have, like growing, like I didn't grow up with a father in the house. So it's like now you're trying to give him everything that I didn't have. So it's so unbelievable.
With not having that, you know, and being able now to be in a position to show what your mother was able to raise, to show that you are a good man. And so many times you hear a woman can't raise a man.
Yeah.
What does that relationship mean to you?
Oh, my mom is the best. She lives back in Iowa still. Like she lives on like 10 acres out in the country. Like she's got her dogs. She did everything she possibly could for me and my sister growing up. You know, she worked at Target for 28 years, I think, and like made it to my sporting events, made it to my sister's activities. Like did everything she could to give us the stuff we need. And I remember she told me that one time. She's like, you might not have everything you want, but you're gonna have everything you need. And it's like, you know, I remember like hearing her like cry on the phone with her sister about bills and stuff. You didn't know what it's about when you're a little kid. But as you get older, you start to understand like we're struggling. Like, and you don't know it. Like she did her best to keep that from us and make sure we were happy and healthy and everything. Like we were going through it. And then you have other people step up too. You know, my friends' dads, my aunts, uncles, my grandma. Like it takes a village. You know, but she did everything she possibly could. You know, to make sure we were happy. And I'll always be grateful for my mother for that. Like she's the best.
I always find it interesting in hearing of people's journey. You know, their upbringing. And something touched me there. Not so much Channing talking about the 140, but more so, you know, growing up, single-family household, Colonial Estates, trailer park, to now being able to set your mom up on 10 acres. You know, just that feeling, like how does being able to look back on your childhood and then to come full circle and say, man, you know, I owe all of this to my mom. Yeah, I put in the work, but I owe all of this to my mother. And to be able to look back on that, like, what's that feeling like?
Yeah, it is kind of wild. Because I remember we lived in the trailer park with my grandma for a while. And I remember when we moved to my mom's first house. It's so crazy. Like I looked it up on Zillow. It's like 800 square feet. Like just this little thing right on the edge of town. But I remember like it was a huge deal for us. And I remember it's ingrained. I was 5 years old, and it's ingrained in my head. The first night we didn't have anything, but we had mattresses. And I remember two twin mattresses next to each other in the living room, like no furniture in there, no nothing, just two mattresses, and that's where we slept. And like, looking back on it, like that's like, you know, it's crazy. But we were like, she was so excited. She's like, we got a house. Didn't have a lick of furniture, but we had two mattresses. Being able to call her, like I remember calling her and telling her like, hey, like you don't got to work anymore. She worked at Target. She was 16. So you don't got to work anymore. And then first thing I did was I paid off her mortgage. The next year, then we moved her out of the country. She's got all this land now, and that feeling it's unbelievable. Cause like I saw the struggle we went through. Like I saw, you know, I remember my first car. Like I wouldn't tell. Like if I was low on gas, I wouldn't tell her. I remember rolling into the gas station. I remember getting out, like pushing my car to the gas station. I'm like, I can't tell her. Like I know we don't have any money for gas, but I'm like scrounging up for quarters and stuff. Just an unbelievable feeling being able to buy her a house and be like, hey, we're good.
And I think that message she left you with, you might not have what you want, but I can get you what you need.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna take you far.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys tend to, what's that number? 78% of guys after they're done playing.
Divorced and broke.
Divorced, broke, filed bankrupt, or what have you. But I think just that message alone, it'll allow you to go far and not make those mistakes, and it'll allow you to understand what moderation is.
Absolutely.
How does the upbringing change when you're rich? Because I enjoy being rich. Everybody's rich here. Like, but like to live that way, to be in a trailer, and then now to have a surplus of like, you're not worried about, like you said, I got me a Mercedes, I got me a couple watches, like that. Like your watch probably costs more than the house you grew up in. How does that? You know what I'm saying? No, it does. Don't worry about it. I did the math in my mind already. But like, how does it change your approach moving forward? Like Freddie's talking about, how does that change you moving forward?
Well, I think at first it's weird. Like asking, you're like, can I get this, or like can I do this? I didn't know. I remember when I first signed my deal. I was like, am I able to get this? I was like, I know it. Like I can afford it, but it's like I don't know how it works. I've got a lady, her name's Taryn. I run everything through Taryn. I'm like, Taryn, can I get this watch? Can I get this car? She's like, yeah, you can get it. I would wait. Just something like that. She's like, it's not in the plan. She's like, I don't know. We sat down and made a plan. Like, when direct deposit hits, she's like, this is going here, this is going here, this is going here. And she's like, this is your fund money. She's like, this is what you can. She's like, every month. She's like, this is what you can go do whatever you want to do with. I was like, sounds good. But I still call her like, hey, is this okay? Yeah. She's like, yeah, that's fine.
I asked because there's a lot of guys that jump in a situation like you have. Guys are listening like that. Yeah,
it's a lot of money. Like,
yeah,
you're like, that can't be right. Like, it's like,
that can't be right.
That can't be right. I remember when my very first signing bonus when I got drafted, I got $3 million. I called my mom. I was like, I'm about to go into a team meeting. I said, go look at the fucking bank account. I had $2. I had $2 in there. I remember I had $2 in my bank account before I declared for the draft. So going from that to there's $3 million in there. I was like, that's. I said they messed it up. I said, Mom, that's not right. This deal, there was another number on there. I was like, hold on a second. I said, they fucked up.
7 figures?
I was like, wait a minute.
8 figures?
I was like, wait a minute. So it blows my mind, because it's, all the work that you put in to get there. You're playing a game for a living. You're doing what you love, and then for that to come, you're like, it's unbelievable.
That's cool.
You ever take a look at the pay stub?
Yeah, Fred,
we got
you
a day
played
for
in 1976.
Yeah, I mean, because
this man ain't never seen no pay stub.
We don't get paper checks.
It's been direct deposit his entire career.
We used to tear the bottom off.
We used to look at FICA.
Yeah, like
Who is FICA?
this man ain't never seen no pay stub. He's a baby. He's just big.
But we got direct deposit, and then they gave us the real thing. I still get direct deposit now. I don't get the real thing. Y'all don't?
No.
Tristan, I have a question.
Yeah.
I love what Fred said about the sort of the reality of what your mother telling you, right? You'll have what you need.
Yeah.
And it sort of gives you a perspective. I heard my mother have those same type of phone calls. I did grow up in a 2-parent home, but I've heard those phone calls. And at the time, you don't have the capacity to truly allow it to register.
No.
Right? But there's a tradition at Iowa. It's actually been voted the the best tradition in college football. Yeah. It's called the wave.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what it's like to be playing a game you love that involves such physicality, that brings so much enjoyment to so many people, but it does make us special in a way, and then taking that time to wave to the patients and to the parents who are getting an opportunity to enjoy that as well, even though at a time that they're incapacitated in that manner.
Yeah, that's a really special thing. I remember when it first started, Coach Ferentz was like, "No, we're not gonna be a part of it. Like, fans will wave. We're locked in on the game 1 week." He was crying. Lasted 1 week. He said, "Yeah, we got to wave," because it's so special. I mean, I tell people a lot. It's like, we complain about, we got to go practice in the heat. We got to go do this. We got to go do this. Complaining. We have to, I have to lift today. I got to run today. We're complaining about champagne problems. Like, those kids are up there getting poked and prodded with needles. There's one story that'll, stick with me forever. It was, we used to go up there a lot and visit the kids. And me and my roommate went up around Christmas time, and there was a little boy, head to toe, burns all over his body. He was maybe, I don't know his exact age. I'd say he's 9 years old. And their house caught fire. House was burning down. He ran back inside to get his 4-year-old sister. She was okay. She had a couple burns. His whole body was. Imagine being 9 years old, running back into a burning house to save your little sister. And all we did was like a little Nerf ball, a little foam Nerf ball, just go toss with him. He's smiling. His mom's like, he hasn't smiled in weeks. And it puts into perspective. You're like, no, I don't have to do any of this. I get to do this. Yeah. I get to play football for a living. I get to go out here and have a blast with my boys. And this 9-year-old saved his sister's life, and is going to be scarred for the rest of his life. Going to be changed for the rest of his life. But he did it because he had. He did it because he had to go save his sister.
Right.
I got to give myself chills. It's like, I'll never forget that story. I'll never forget, seeing that little boy and seeing his mom's face, and he hasn't smiled in weeks. And all we did was go toss him a ball, But the impact that you have the impact we have as players, and the platform we have is incredible. It's so immense, and just something like that, that'll stay with me forever. But that wave it's unbelievable.
I think something that's going to stay with one of your former coaches forever is Duval. How is Liam? Because we talked about it already.
That was funny.
How is Liam, man? That's going to follow him for a while.
Oh, yeah. Liam's the best. We were, the O-line and Baker, we were down in the Bahamas last week, and when all that was going on, we called him, or he called us. Like, Liam's an awesome dude, but I'm going to have to text him about that. That was funny.
Right.
I seen it all on Twitter and stuff. I was like, damn. I was like, they're getting after him too.
But he held the wrong bow.
Yeah,
he should have do. He didn't. When he should have do.
That was funny.
But you got to think, man. He probably been practicing it, and when you in that moment, it's a lot of pressure. The cameras, everything, and you ain't done it before. It was difficult on that, man. He finna be rich too, though, so he ain't tripping.
It was
I seen what Liam got.
Yeah,
it was some pressure.
Liam's a watch guy too, and when he's on the phone, I said, "You're gonna get a new one."
But Tristan, you said that was pretty cool. You and Baker, y'all was in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
That was a playing thing.
Yeah.
Y'all went down there.
No, it was too cold. It was pretty windy down there.
Oh, chilly as
Chan,
hell.
Chan, I don't know what you about to ask. That's a quick trip plan after what they had just went through, though.
How much money they got?
They just played the Commanders, though, Chan. Is this a pre-plan?
Every year we've done it.
Really?
Yeah.
Behind Mar, what's that called? Be a Mar?
We went to Baker's Bay.
Yeah, that's where big money people go.
Baker's got a place there.
Yeah, he has a place over there. Jesus Christ.
Baker's a Heisman Trophy winner. Like I forget it. Baker's a Heisman Trophy winner. Like
Baker's a dude.
Yes,
He's a dude,
people don't
bro.
like this guy. Baker's a dog. Like people don't understand that. People don't understand it. Like I remember when I was in high school. Like Baker Mayfield was like the best thing since sliced bread. We're like, this guy is incredible. The swag he had, like it's crazy. But yeah, Baker's a dog.
They just $100 million dogs fed him because he just got the new deal. But how was that transition from Tom to Baker? Because you just said it. You know where Tom's going to be.
Yeah, that was
Baker ain't going to be there.
No, that was a big change. 3 years with Tom, the defenseman knew where Tom was going to be too. But you got to change. You got to fix this internal clock of like, okay, it's like one 1,000, two with balls out. Like Baker's gonna look. He's gonna run around. He's gonna spin out. He's gonna probably break a tackle on the way. So like, that was a big change at first. Being like, yeah, I gotta strain. Like like you think it's just you think the ball's out. Oh no, he's looking to make a play. So that was, I think, the biggest change is knowing that Baker's gonna scramble, knowing if someone's not open, he's gonna run, and just staying connected with your block, moving your feet, not letting it get outside your body. Throw a damn flag. That's the biggest change. But Baker, like being able to go hang out with him, be able to go get a beer with him. Nobody could do that with Tom. Like he's Tom fucking Brady. Like he's not coming out with him like, oh, let's go hit the bars, Tom. He's like, no, I'm good. Yeah. But Baker, we're like, there's a little bar down in Davis Island we'll all go to after games, hang out, watch the Sunday night game, Monday night game, whatever it is. But being able to go out and hang out with Baker, like he's one of my best friends. So it's like that's an awesome relationship.
And even that, like, do you ever like look back to see if he still has the ball? Because I watch all the Bucs games.
Sometimes.
You'll
like,
be blocking like
if you're hemmed up a little bit,
you
just take a peek. Like you got it still. Like, shit. If you got somebody like hemmed up good, just take a peek. Hey, shit, you still got it. But you never know. You never know. A lot of the time he gets the ball out quick. Sometimes he's sitting there. You're like, fuck. Throw that fucking thing. It's fun.
I think it's cool though, and this is just outside perspective. Is like you're right about Baker, right? Like the dance video that goes viral every year when college football playoff starts. Yeah. Like, what's the kids call it now? Riz, Aura, something like that. Yeah. Something that y'all, I'm too old to really know.
Riz,
yeah,
Riz?
Charisma. Okay. Yeah, but so Baker, but he had all that, and I think like the coolest part about him to me though was that this was the dude that was a walk-on, right? Built himself through hard work to be a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
He's the #1 overall pick, becomes a Pro Bowler, but then he had to go through adversity to get to this point in Tampa. This was Carolina, Rams, all of those things. When, you told the story that, you see him in the weight room. He's like, hey, man, you want to go grab a beer? You guys go grab a beer. What were some of the things in just initially meeting him that drew you to him, where now you could say that Baker is one of your best friends?
I don't know what it was. Like I remember the first time I met him, but then like he was here, he was like living in a hotel just in Tampa, and I'm like, do you want to do something, dude? I was like we would go to like Lightning games, the hockey games, we'd go to the like Rays games. Like I remember at the time, you know, like we're at the Rays game, like the camera's on him, like he's on the Jumbotron, he's just like, yeah, how we doing? Like I didn't realize like he's a big fucking deal. He's a big deal.
Right.
Like he'd text me, he said, hey, let's go get lunch. Like, and I'm like, I never had that before. So I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, I'll go hang out with you. Hell yeah. Just thinking he's like, you know, he's one of my boys, or you know, no, he's the starting quarterback. He's the dude. I think just him texting me and wanting to hang out, like was like, yeah, this guy's fucking awesome.
Right.
I think just his personality. You know, he's just one of the guys. I think that was just the biggest thing. Like going from not having that at all to he's calling me like, let's go get a beer. I'm like, yeah. It's sweet.
Okay, and this is not as funny. Like I laughed at that story. I'm not laughing at this next story I'm about to ask you about. So I host Inside the NFL, NFL Films. In our highlight video of Commanders Bucks, you hug one of your other offensive linemen at the end. You tell him you love him, and he's like, "You're my best fucking friend, man."
Oh yeah.
when you're in that moment, you know, because we've all been there. You know, I tell people all the time, there's only one of 32 teams. There's only one success story every year, and that's the team that wins the Super Bowl. I was like, everybody else fails. But when you're in that moment, man, and the season ends in a game that a lot of people had you guys favored against the Commanders, what are you feeling at that exact time where you're sharing that moment?
Yeah, that was Rob Hainsey. He's my best friend. He came in a year after me, and we just did it. We just did everything together, you know. Because I came into a room that was a very veteran-led room, and like everyone had kids, everyone was older. Like, but he came in, and I'm like, yeah, we're hanging out. So it's like we got to do everything together. So that was an emotional moment. You know, he started the past 2 years, ended up not being the starter. We drafted Graham Barton. He came in, but Hainsey, like, he took it. It was tough at first for him, but him being a veteran now, like teaching Graham the ropes, teaching him the way, you know, and now Hainsey's gonna be a free agent. Like that was kind of like, he's gonna go play somewhere. There's not 31 centers in the league better than him. We talked about it all year. He's like, I'm gonna leave. You know, I'm not gonna be here next year. Like we give Graham a hard time. Like, oh, it's never gonna be this good. I thought we had an incredible O-line room, and we just gave him a hard time. But that was kind of the realization that like, yeah, he's leaving. It's over because it's never gonna be the same. You know, that's how it is in the NFL. But yeah, that was kind of the realization that he's leaving. It was emotional. I love the O-line room we had this year was the best I've ever been a part of. And like we're so close, and we have 3 free agents. You know, we have Robert Hainsey, Ben Bredesen, Justin School, and like those guys are my best friends. So it's like it sucks, you know, but that's the NFL, and hope we can get some of them back. I know Hainsey wants to go play. He loves ball. He loves playing. One of the smartest guys I know. Tough as nails.
I think that's the hard part about what you guys still do, what we did, is people don't factor in the human side of the business.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And it is. And, you know, we spent time, obviously, celebrating what you've earned, right? It wasn't given to you, what you've earned through your great play. But then there are the other sides, like a guy who has been a starter, but he's replaced by a young guy. And within that room, he's going to be asked to help this young person that now has his job to be better, and he'll do it for you, right? He'll do it for that guy, but eventually he wants to go get his own too. And so now it is you having the feeling of a friend being in a different place. It's not gonna lessen your friendship, but it will lessen the time you spend with your friend. And so, I think all of those things are definitely a part of the business that we don't speak about enough, because it does play a role.
Yeah.
Thinking of football, if there was a player, past or present, defensive player, who would it be that you will go up against?
Oh my gosh. Wow. DeMarcus Ware. I remember watching him. That'd be fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I mean, probably wouldn't be fun. He'd probably get my ass kicked. Fucking DeMarcus Ware. Well, why did I pick that? I don't know. But I remember at the Combine, I said J.J. Watt, and then I got to play him when he was in Arizona, like right before. It was Christmas Day. And then I think he retired after that season. But like, so that was cool. And I got him. I was coming off an ankle injury. I couldn't do shit on my right ankle. And I remember I had a backside cutoff on him, and I was like, I remember seeing him just a jetted up 3-point stance. I was like, he's gonna fly off the ball. And I remember I was like, I can't push off. I can't push to the left. I just did like a quick little pivot and I grabbed like his back hip and just threw him upfield kind of. And he said, after the play, he said, that's an old vet move. And I was like, yeah. I got it. Then he blew me up the next play. I was like, I just had a dry block on him. He just stoned me. I was like, all right, there it is. You get one back.
Old man strength.
Yeah, I was like, all right, that's fair. But like just to like watching J.J. Watt like in his prime was like he was unblockable. So it's like, and like same with DeMarcus Ware. Remember he hit Joe Staley with the fake spin. Like that's like Joe Staley was like looking around. He's like, and Joe Staley's a Hall of Fame player. Like he's incredible. So it's like, but being able to like go against those guys and would have been awesome. Like I like the competition. Like you crave the competition. Like you know, that's why we play the game. We're all competitors. So I think that would have been awesome.
I wish you'd asked me. I'm picking the third string wide receiver. I'm picking the running back that don't play. Who you want to play? Oh, give me Danny Amendola.
Number 46.
He picking all-time greats. That tells me
46.
Well, that's who I watched. That's who I watched and stuff. Like that would have been sweet.
You played all of these sports, did all of these things, you become a tackle. I'm going to ask you a very Iowa question.
Okay.
Right? That's important to me as a former defensive back. Where y'all getting these white boys that could play corner?
From Iowa.
Cooper, Riley. Like
Coop went. Did you see the video of Coop running the 100 meter?
No, I didn't see him run. I saw the video. I saw his 40.
He ran the 100 meter faster than Saquon. And he jumped long jump further than Saquon.
So you just gonna throw that out there like that?
I saw it on Twitter. My boy, Mike J, he's like the Iowa track and field legend. He like announces like the state tournament. Somebody posted Saquon's highlight, and I love Saquon's cool. But they posted Saquon's track highlights, and Mike J just kind of like threw this out there. He's like, his teammate did this. It was like 10:21, a 20. I'm gonna butcher it. Tweets out there, but he jumped like a 21.4 or something.
Dang.
Coop's a freak. So was Riley Moss. I remember watching Riley Moss run the 110 high hurdles at the state track tournament. The best Iowa pipeline. They're all from
too. Cooper went to Philly and got a South of France though. Like he got a burst fade now.
Yeah, he had that at Iowa. He had it at Iowa.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if he got that when he got to Philly. No, okay.
That's funny.
Now
You got the burst fade.
Now the most famous from Iowa. All right, you in the NFL at this point, and Caitlin Clark.
Oh, she's a freak. Caitlin's the best. What was the question?
I didn't get to it yet.
Go ahead.
I'm about to ask.
I got to say, Caitlin's the best. Yeah. Go ahead.
But that was my point, though. You know, you look at Iowa, and like you guys are known for certain things, right? It's like you're gonna go get you some offensive linemen.
Yep.
You are going to get the best tight end.
Yeah.
You know, when you go there, it's not very often we're like, hey, you're gonna go there and get the best hooper in the world. But that's what Caitlin Clark had become in college and is continuing to evolve as a basketball player. But when you sit in the league, man, and you watching the NCAA, I went to LSU, so I was tapped in.
Yeah.
You know, and you're seeing the sort of run that they're making and what she was doing. Like, what impact has she had on the sports culture there?
Oh my goodness. I think for kids in Iowa, like you see 22 jerseys all over the place. And there's been a couple pictures I've seen of her. Like, you remember they played the outdoor basketball game in Kinnick Stadium? Like, there's a picture of her just, like, taking it down the court, and you see, like, the whole, like, Kinnick Stadium was, like, filled up. Like, I think they did, like, 3/4 of it. Filled up. And they came to watch her. Like, there's this one, like, you see the signs, like, the little girls holding up, like, I want to be like 22. Like, her impact is nationwide. It's probably worldwide. Like, it's unbelievable to watch and see her just ascend, you know, over these past couple of years. She's from Iowa too. She's from Des Moines, Iowa. Like Cooper, Riley Moss from Des Moines, Iowa. Like, he went to Ankeny. Like, I don't know where Cooper's from. He's from like IBWCG or something. It's a little town, but he was in there, yamming on people, like running, flying down the track, like doing everything. While watching Cooper in the state tournament for football. Most people in Iowa play both sides of the ball in high school. Like most guys do. It's like he was doing everything. He was playing safety. He was playing quarterback. He's like, yeah, get the snap. He's like, oh, nobody's holding me run for 60.
Right.
Like, that's just, you know, it's just fun. Like, competitors and getting to see these guys. You know, all like my Iowa teammates, like Iowa people I know, Caitlin Clark, like Luka Garza in the NBA. Like, it's you know, the Murray twins. Like, it's just awesome to see, you know, people that I got to compete against in high school and got to play with in college, all have this immense success. It's incredible.
And bro, speaking about teammates, I got to ask you that Saints game this year. Did y'all, everybody knew Mike was right on the verge of...
Everybody in the world knew it, yeah.
The game was prime time.
Yeah.
When were y'all, when was you privy to, we got to get Mike this goddamn ball? Because you only up by 8. You could have just ran the ball and ran the clock out, but Mike had to get that ball. Todd Bowles was my coach. He was in Miami when I was there. Yeah. Todd's a solid dude, as you know.
Yeah.
How much was the team on that?
Everybody, all week, Mike's got to get his thing. And I remember when he needed 5 yards, and we were on the 6-yard line, and right before Bucky scored, he ran they brought 0, and we all had a check for it to be something else. Ball was going to Mike. That ball was going to Mike. Pylon, it's going to be a touchdown. That's the Mike. It should be just called the Mike. That's his route. Brought 0, big, flipped it to Bucky. Bucky scored, and we're like, shit, did we mess it up? Did we mess up his record? Tying the record? And I remember get the ball back, and it wasn't even a question. We're we have the ball. Coming off the sideline after we score, we're it's all right. We're gonna get the ball back. That's what I said to him. I was we're gonna get the ball. We're gonna be fine. I was I love it. We're gonna get you. It's gonna happen. Yeah. I'm getting juiced up about it right now. Holy shit. But we go out there, they called it. I'm here we go. And just being out on the field when he we called the play, everyone in the stadium knew Mike's getting the ball and getting the record or tying the record with Jerry. Which I didn't know it was only Jerry Rice. I didn't know it was only Jerry Rice. That's Mike's just kicking by. It's insane. Being out there and watching him do that. Now being his teammate for 5 years was just unbelievable.
He's special.
Yeah, he's special. Holy shit, yeah.
I love listening.
He's special.
He talked like a lineman all the way, dog.
Yeah.
All the way.
He throwing back shoulder to the pylon.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do my job.
Do you think
we're on the 2-yard line? They're all right. Ball's going to Mike. Yeah, roger that. Quick pass, bro. See it overhead. Oh, touchdown. One-handed catch, yeah. Toe tap, one-handed catch.
So I got a question for you, though, Tristan. You know the history. If Marshawn Lattimore is out there, does he let Mike catch that ball? Or does he just pass interference out the gate?
Let him.
Bro.
Let him. Mike catching it. That's crazy.
Come on now. Tristan, everybody was out. The Saints might as well have been celebrating the fact that Mike caught the ball. Mike caught the ball. Y'all celebrated. Mm-hmm. He walked off.
Mike
walked into the tunnel.
Yeah, he's out of there. That's game.
Bro.
He's not celebrating he's not shaking hands with the Saints, Mike. You've seen the battles that Mike's had with Marshawn. That was my job.
Marshawn's in Washington now. I feel like if Marshawn is there, bro, that goes differently.
I don't.
He's not just...
I've watched Mike and Marshawn go at it for 5 years, and I don't think it goes differently. Whether he's playing up, he's no, you're not getting this. Mike's 6'5". Mike's a 6'5" receiver. We need 5 yards. That's all he needed was 5. He's getting that. I don't know how much time was left in the game, but you see Mike's lined up. He's I need 5. He's getting that 5. No, I don't think anyone's gonna stop him. I don't think anyone's stopping him from getting 5 right there.
I'm doubling it.
Put 2 guys.
You're not finna get this money. Bro,
it's about punt.
Finish the record. I'm doing him like Calvin Johnson. At that moment, the Saints, as much as bro, I'm from New Orleans. They hate these people. Legitimately, bro. Remember when Jameis? You remember when Jameis poked
if he needed to?
Bro, do you remember when Jameis poked Marshawn like this and Mike ran and spit that man into the stands?
They told me my rookie year. They said go get Mike. After every play, Ryan Griffin told me, he said, go get Mike after every play. And I remember, I thought he was, which he was being serious, but I was like, okay. I'd do my pass row and I'd look. And then Mike and Marshawn in each other's face, I'm sprinting down the field. I'm like, come on, Mike. I'm going to get him. I thought he was being 100% serious, go get him. So I'm like, all right, went and got him. They were, I don't know if it was that year in particular, they were going at it. And in 2020, that was something else. I was like, shit, I was like, you gotta keep an eye on Mike. Oh my gosh.
Eye on you.
That was crazy. I was like, I know. I was like,
RC's mentioned the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints, they were a while before you got in the league, obviously. They had a guy by the name of Drew Brees, and they dominated the South. You guys have been in position dominating the South. Still falling short of your goals of what you achieved in 2020.
Yeah.
You have Baker, you have Mike, you have coach in place. You have still a good roster.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for you guys to get back to championship level?
I think not shooting ourselves in the foot. I feel like that's a very, I know it's a very broad answer, but there were so many times this year where we were in one-score games, in close games, and if you take away some mental stuff earlier in the game, like you don't know how it goes. That, and I think scoring in the red zone, like there was one game like later in the season where we were in the red zone 3 times and didn't score. We still put up a decent amount of points, but we didn't score in the red zone 3 times. That's 21. That's 21 points. Like it's no contest after that. And we still end up winning. But I'm like, tack on 21 more points instead of what? Instead of 9.
It was that Carolina game.
Might have been that one. But it's like scoring, like getting. Everyone loves field goals. Like 3. Yeah, we'll take points when we can get it. But 21 compared to 9. Like that's a
simple math.
Yeah.
Like that's a big difference. And the mental stuff, pre-snap penalties, like it's stuff we can control the controllables, like, and we can do that. I mean, it's just that, I think we're close. I think we're really close.
How difficult is it to deal? Like I remember when we won the Super Bowl, we had a rookie corner who played a ton. He was a starting nickel. He rotated in that corner. And I just remember him after the game being like, man, we coming back next year. And I remember thinking to myself, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I was in my 7th year in the league. And it was my first time even getting to the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
For you to have that early success, to know what it feels like, to know what it looks like, and to now be dealing with, okay, how do we get back? How difficult has that been? But also, too, how much do you enjoy working your way back to the pinnacle?
I didn't realize like how big it was, my rookie. I didn't realize like 3 road playoff games. Like I didn't realize like what we did was pretty insane. But we know how to get, like, I've seen the rest. I know the recipes. So it's like, the journey back is like, I was the same way too as that guy. I was like, oh, we're gonna do it next year. Like everyone's coming back. They're like not really. That second year, we did get a lot of guys. We did sign a bunch of guys back because like Tampa's a great place. Like we did sign a lot of guys back, but you don't understand how much turnover there is. Yeah, it just doesn't happen. It's not the same guys. Oh yeah, we all got like math class together. It doesn't work like that, like college. But seeing that recipe for success that Tom really brought with him, and how to be a winning organization, and bringing a culture with him, and bringing all this stuff. Because he's done it. He's more than anybody. More than any franchise. So it's been awesome, because now it's like, being an older guy, I'm like, okay, now it's my job to set the precedent and to try and set the standard, and bring guys along. So having those talks with Bake, and Levante's done it.
Awesome.
Levante David, don't even get me started on Levante David. What a player.
Yes, he is.
What a player. But it's like, you got guys like that, Will Golston, Vita Vea, like guys, we've all done it for a while now. Mike, Chris, all these guys. So now it's our turn to be the leaders and to bring everybody along, and do our best to create a culture and an environment that, will breed that success.
Do you and Vita ever go one-on-one?
Not really.
I was going to say, he's inside, you outside, but that's a bad human.
Yeah, they got some packages in training camp where they put him out at the end, and I tell him, I'm like, I said, Vita, don't do this. I said, it's not going to
No gloves on either?
No gloves, no tape. You see him, he's got like his red visor, I like break the huddle, see him out there, I'm like, and I know, what it's going to be. It's going to be speed to bull. He's going speed to bull.
Grown man football.
And I'm like, if you set back, it's over. If you set back at all, I'm in Baker's lap. So like, I see him out there, go jump set him, just stop him before he gets his momentum going. You cannot stop it. You can't. You see the clip, the Titans 2 years ago, where his helmet was to the side, lined up at end, and the guy didn't go jump set him. He just ran right through him. And he didn't slow down. Like you can't stop it.
Stupid. Tristan, I have a question. Better, crazier moment. Tom Brady tore up at the parade, or AB leaving the stadium?
Crazier moment. Wow. That I would say Tom at the parade, because offense was out on the field when all that AB, like we came to the sideline, they're like AB left. I was like, what do you mean he left? I said, what are you talking about? And they're like, he took off. And then like, we didn't know about it. Like, I didn't see what happened until after the game on Twitter. I was like, are you shitting me? Yeah, I had no idea that was happening. Like, we're doing a 2-minute drive before halftime, trying to score, and AB's waving his jersey in the end zone. We're like, what's going on, you know? But seeing Tom torch at the, I mean, everyone was smoked. Like, that was incredible. We drank our boat out of beer. Like, they're like, we don't have. I was like, let me get a Michelob Ultra. They're like, no, we don't have any. I said, bring whatever you got.
Right.
It's like, I don't care what it is. I was like, just bring me a
At
beer.
this point.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it was, weather was perfect. It was a hot day in February. We're like, yeah, this is great. There were probably 20 boats, just like, you know, Tom had his own boat, bastard. I was like, typical. But we had like an O-line boat, like there was a D-line boat, like every position group had their own boat, and it was so fun. And then I saw it on the news the next day. They let me get on the news with a microphone after the parade, and I was like, that was probably not a good idea.
You said you saw it on the news the
next day.
So you didn't know that you?
No, I did an interview on TV. I was like, whose idea was this? I was like, I'm yelling. I was so excited. They're like, yeah, we'll cut. I was like, yeah.
Tristan, we usually ask all of our guests what's their biggest pivot. But just playing everything back in reverse since we started, I want to ask you this. Mm-hmm. You've achieved a lot, you know, from your upbringing, you know, getting through those challenges, being drafted high, starting at Iowa, being drafted high, winning the Super Bowl early in your career, 4-time Pro Bowler, Mr. Pocket Watcher right here. He put your business out there.
Big Bank Hank.
Making big checks.
This guy. You gotta watch out for this
things.
guy.
Big Bank Hank.
All of those things, there has to be something that's more rewarding along this journey than the other things. What has that been for you?
So I've done a lot of stuff with the University of Iowa Children's Hospital where they waved to. Like I remember at the combine, I did this thing. I was like, for my vertical jump, we're gonna raise money for every inch I jump or something. Being able to give back to the Children's Hospital, which, you know, we visited a ton. And now that my son was born, I did this Christmas toy drive at the Movement Children's Hospital in Tampa, and it's like being able to go around and kind of give back, and going through the Children's Hospital in Tampa was incredible. Like giving out Christmas gifts, like that's a feeling you can't get, you know, anywhere else. Like going in and it's little, like it was like a Lego set to a little kid. It was like a Barbie doll to a little girl, like just little stuff like that. But you know, walking through a children's hospital and being able to put a smile on a kid's face at Christmas time, you know, some of you don't know, like most of them have no idea who you are, but you're just, you know, somebody trying to spread a little Christmas cheer. I think giving back has been unbelievable to charities that you want to give back to and causes that you appreciate and that you like. I've worked a lot with Metropolitan Ministries in Tampa. They help single mothers and children in single parent households. Like that's been incredible. It's like knowing what that's like growing up in that situation, being able to do these things for kids like that is incredible.
Now that's amazing too, and I love the connectivity of that though too.
Yeah.
You know, because the beautiful thing is, if you do come across when you do come across the mother of the children, they see Tristan Wirfs now. Mm-hmm. They don't know the kid that mom pushed 2 mattresses together in their first home. So to sometime be able to give them that motivation or that inspiration that there is something bigger than this, there is more than this while giving back is huge, man. So I just love to hear that story. On our show, we don't get an opportunity to do a lot of linemen. It's probably our fault.
It's all right. That's all right.
One, like there are very few of you that people really know.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's like the first thing. 2, it's like, gotta be interesting and fun. So I just want to say, man, you were just an awesome sit down, a great conversation. Thank you, man. Continued luck to you, man. Enjoy that baby.
Thank you, I will.
Yes, sir.
Later in the game, he was like, the weight room is essential. You got to get in the weight room.
No way.
He was like, I don't know, like to your point, I don't know if he was just talking to himself to me, but he was
sometimes
like,
this
yeah,
happens.
you ain't strong enough. The weight room is essential.
That's funny.
Ogden was a monster.
I used to watch YouTube videos of him all the time because I knew he threw shot put and discus at UCLA. So I was like, I threw shot and discus. Like, this guy's fucking awesome. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's a dog. Walter Jones.
We run up on the edge, so like we do like I was a wheel backer, so we do like the wheel rushes.
Yeah.
So you go up, and my linebacker coach, he was like, we had signals like you try to spin, you know, jet. Like we had all these hand signals.
Yeah.
One time I walked up, we were in Baltimore, and I walked up on Jonathan's side, and I looked over to my coach. He was like,
I don't know. Good luck.
And I looked
just
like,
go.
He
Just
was
do
like,
something.
just stay outside.
That's
Like,
funny as fuck.
You gotta go home. Yeah.
Don't let him get
Man,
your hands on
we
you.
gotta let him go.
All right.
My bad. Sorry.
Hey, dog,
I mean,
much
that's
respect.
how we talking
Appreciate it.
football.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Man, appreciate you,
Yeah.
fam. Thank you so much,
That was
dog.
fun.
Yeah,
That was
we'll
All
awesome.
love,
definitely see you
man.
next week.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
guys.
Yes, sir.
Hold up, limitless. Niggas to me, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up. On the mission got me up. Knowing me, I got the key. Only vision I can trust. Trust. Limitless. Niggas to me, got pin in it. I fought the head to witness it. Got my people feeling militant. Way I'm feeling got me up.